rockets were fired. These rockets, the length of the rockets are at least 9 to 10 feet long, with a capacity of carrying explosive to the tune of at least 20 to 25 kilogram. In some cases they might also carry explosive to the tune of 30 kilogram. Prima facie, we have also talked with the forensic team which arrived, though they didn't wanted to come on record as of now because it is too early to comment, but prima facie they have also informed us that looking at the explosive, the nature of the explosion and the impact, it seems that potassium nitrate has been used in this explosion inside the rockets. These rockets are made indigenously. Let me tell you, these are not factory made rockets. These are made indigenously by the underground militants in the hills, in the hill areas, suspected to be Kuki underground militants. They have indigenously developed this rocket by using steel water pipes. Water pipes were being used in order to manufacture these rockets in their camps, which are located mostly in the foothill areas. And both these rockets were fired from a distance of, the first rocket was fired in fact from a distance of around 4 to 5 kilometers, and the second rocket was also fired from a distance of around 5 to 6 kilometers. And what is more concerning in this area is that this area is also it is where the valley begins, the Loktak Lake begins here. And when you come to Imphal, when the flight that comes to Imphal, before making the final landing at the Imphal airport,
yes,
all
Anirudh.
the flights fly at a very low flying zone in this area.
Yeah.
And with such rockets, high range rockets being fired in this area, it
Anirudh,
is a major safety concern now. And also let me tell you a fact, Abhishek, that the second rocket landed hardly 300 meters.
Anirudh, these are dangerous portents, and you rightly mentioned that this could prove dangerous for even civilian flights. In fact, it seems that there are elements who are helping these insurgents improvise weapons to a level that rockets can be converted into missiles of this scale. Anirudh mentioned going up to 8 or 9 or even 10 feet long, carrying explosives of the order of 20 to 30 kilograms. And earlier we have seen the use of drones, very sophisticated high-tech drones to deliver explosives and grenades. Let's listen into Lieutenant General Himalaya Singh, retired. He has hinted while speaking to Anirudh that this improvisation of weaponry in the hands of Manipur insurgents cannot happen unless there is a foreign hand. Listen in.
Which is inimical to India will try and exploit the fissures and various problem areas as far as northeastern India is concerned. So I have no doubts in my mind that there are indications for involvement of Chinese and certain elements based in Myanmar who are inimical to India, who are helping the crisis to prolong actually here.
There are also talks being said that the US is also somehow involved in creating the disturbances, particularly if we talk about the pro-democratic forces, the CNF or the PDF in Myanmar. They are openly being backed by the US.
It's a game. It's a Bertel Lintner, that writer, if you recollect. He talked about Great Game East, in Myanmar, this region, Myanmar region. So I'm not very sure about what the great game is as far as the United States is concerned. But there are signs that China in particular, and also certain elements in Myanmar, and now with the happenings in Bangladesh, certain elements even from Pakistan-backed elements like ISI and all, they would be keen to actually exploit this vulnerability of ours. So it's a very serious national security issue.
If we talk about the use of drone, you have had served in various capabilities across India and also in the western sector. Never we have heard about use of drone in India by any terrorist group earlier. This is for the first time that a terrorist group is using drone. Means sophisticated modern technology have reached the hands that should not have been. How do you see this development which have really shocked the country?
This is a huge, it's a huge challenge for our security forces. We have had drones for reconnaissance, photography, camera and all that in the past. But the type of drone which can carry about, let's say, 2 kgs payload, which the bombs are dropped and all, these are not the toy drones. They are sophisticated mechanisms involved. And the fact that the bombs have been procured either from across the border or manufactured, whatever it is, either way, these type of drones which can carry more than 2 kgs payload is a dangerous escalation. You getting my point? Huh? We have had drone activities in the western sector in Jammu and Kashmir, and like in Pathankot, that attack by the Pakistani-backed terrorists. But in Northeast India, this is the first time of its kind, such kind of a weaponized drone being used against civilians. So this is not a happy sign for our from the national security perspective, and a huge challenge for the security forces. And unfortunately, I don't think we have, I'm not very sure, but I do hope that we have countermeasures, but those countermeasures which we military have is for conventional warfare.
Even if we don't know who's behind this, there is clearly a foreign hand emerging, because this kind of improvisation of weapons cannot happen without tech support, which seems to be happening with these Manipur insurgents. We'll keep a close track of that, but short break. On the other side, another big cover-up being exposed on Republic in the RG car case by Mamata administration.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
Has been a story in itself. People say कि खेलोगे कूदोगे होगे खराब और पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब, but you are a story, like you have such contrasting personalities. You've cleared your medical exams, you're an IS officer, you've served as a DM, and you're still serving as an officer, and you are also an Olympian, you are a Paralympian, you're a medalist. And how did it really go? What was going on your mind when you chose to maybe go for sports?
So it's as you described, it's journey of life. Each one of us have our own journeys. I still remember the days when we were in school. At that time, the achievement was to get the maximum marks possible. Then when I became a computer engineer, the dream was to get into the best company possible, you get a good job. And then when I wanted to work for the society, writing UPSC was the option, and destiny and God were kind that I could clear UPSC and got lot of opportunities in different districts and at different places to work amidst people. And then in the sporting field, yes, the first, so I entered sport by accident. I did not really think in the initial days that I will play professionally. But then in 2016, I played Asian Championship in Beijing, China, and then I did not really expect anything of myself, but then I went as an unseeded player and won the gold medal. From there on, the journey of winning medals in Asian Para Games, Arjuna Award, then Tokyo and Paris. I think journey of life is like that. You cannot really plan what you will do after, say, a decade or so. I always believe in taking one thing at a time and looking at things positively. Very often we can always see the glass and say it's half empty, but it's the perspective, right? You can always say that it's half full and then I'll have to do more. So yes, journey of life has taken me to different places, and hopefully in the coming decades also I'll enjoy the ride.
Many people would wonder that how do you really balance between the two, because it's a very high pressure job, even serving as a district magistrate of in a very important cities in Uttar Pradesh, like Azamgarh. You've been also working in Prayagraj and Noida, especially during the COVID times. They were very challenging times, but at the same time also preparing for a platform like Paralympics. How have you gone out? What was the day like when you prepare and also manage the duty?
My perspective is, if you really love doing something, you will enjoy the process. You probably enjoy journalism, that's why you are doing a podcast. You don't really feel that it is painful to actually do journalism because you love it. So similarly, being a civil servant is a...
The Prime Minister knows the framework, and they shout, they issued the guidance, they know what the test is, that test has been assessed, we've come to a conclusion, and we've put that before the House to consider. The Prime Minister knows the framework, and they shout, they issued the guidance, they know what the test is, that test has been assessed, we've come to a conclusion, and we've put that before the House to consider. This is a serious issue, it requires serious consideration, and the Prime Minister knows the legal framework. This isn't an Israel issue, it's the framework for all licences that have to be kept under review. It's the same test for all licences that the Prime Minister knows, and having applied the law to the facts and come to a legal conclusion, I don't think the Prime Minister is really inviting me to put that to one side. We have to, the Leader of the Opposition, this is a serious issue. We either comply with international law or we don't.
Welcome back. As promised, we bring to you another cover-up in the RG Medical College and Hospital rape case, in which your network is leading Justice for Abhaya campaign. And in this expose, we are bringing to you two documents, two order copies by the Bengal government or the health department there that have surfaced. There is one which was released on 8th of August, essentially assigning duties to doctors and medical health officials insofar as the Independence Day event, Independence Day festivities, and the Independence Day parade is concerned. And there is another document now on air which is backdated but handwritten, suggesting that this was created post facto. And this document has a separate names, a different set of names of doctors, junior doctors and interns, 3 of them. One of them happens to be, in fact, a son of a TMC leader. And essentially, it is believed that these 3 were actually present at the scene of crime or the spot of crime at the RG Medical College and Hospital when the gang rape or the rape and murder happened. And so this document was created to create an alibi to show them at some other place. Let's go to Mayuk. Ranjan Ghosh is joining us live from our Kolkata newsroom to understand what these documents tell us or how they explain the cover-up. Mayuk, over to you. You know these documents better than me. Please explain to us, how do they show yet another cover-up by the Mamata government when it comes to the RG Kar case? Do the documents show that those who were present at the scene of crime, including one son of a Trinamool leader, they were an alibi was created to show them at some other place when the crime happened?
Well, Abhishek, the first name here is Avik De. Who is Avik De? Avik De is one of the doctors who was seen in the seminar room viral footage. Avik De, an outsider at RG Kar Medical College, is actually a Trinamool Congress guy. He was the Trinamool Congress students wing, medical wing, Dr. Cell president. He was the mentor and chief of Trinamool Congress Junior Doctors Association. What was he doing in that morning was the biggest question. But after this notification has come, it's clear that he was supposed to be present in RG Kar Hospital for the Independence Day parade rehearsal at 5 a.m. So is it possible that Avik De was present in the crime spot or at the site of the crime at around 5 a.m. in the morning? Remember, Abhishek, according to forensics, Abhaya was killed at around 4:30 to 5:30, precisely 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. So was Avik present in that point of time when Abhaya was getting murdered? Was Avik present at that point of time? Secondly, the other two doctors, they are also known as very influential and close to the ruling party. Why hastily this notification is surfacing at a time when Indian Medical Association Bengal chapter is also questioning this notification, because this notification does not have a proper memo typed. If you can see the notification, the memo number and date is handwritten. So basically, the Indian Medical Association Bengal chapter of office bearers or the portfolio members of IMA, they are questioning whether this notification was letter printed and this notification was circulated just to show that Avik De was in charge of something else in a separate area, and he was not at all present in the crime spot. So IMA, in fact, that's a breaking news also, IMA in fact is demanding mobile tracking of Avik De, mobile location tracking of Avik De as well. So basically, this particular character was very close to the ruling party Trinamool Congress, who was very big name in the health syndicate according to opposition, may become a key suspect if police or CBI just find out these things.
Right, Mayuk. Absolutely blatant and preposterous manipulation of government orders just to create an alibi for someone the government wants to protect, to a level where the Indian Medical Association's Bengal unit, in fact, has sought some explanations from the government, in fact, sought tracking of Avik De's mobile phone records and data. All right, on that note, we slip into a short break. Couldn't fit in the India-France naval exercise videos in this one. You get it in the next one after a short break.
Director, the taste of success.
Tokyo Paralympics was a watershed moment for Indian para sport, and cut to 2024, India has made its best ever performance in the Paralympics in Paris, and one man was common in both the editions, and that is our shuttling star, Mr. Suhas Yathiraj, who is right now with us on Republic Podcast. Thank you so much, Mr. Yathiraj, for once again making this country proud, and back-to-back silvers And how does it feel? Because you come from one medal and there is pressure, there is all eyes on you, all speculations are on you. So how was that when you deal with the pressure?
Yes, there is always pressure, and first of all, thanks Rakshita for having me. Tokyo was different in the sense that when I went to Tokyo, nobody expected a medal out of me, including myself. But once you get a medal in Paralympics, then when you go in as world number 1 in the next edition of Paralympics in Paris this time, obviously there is some expectation. I did not want to allow the pressure to get to myself, so I just went in with the same mentality like I did in Tokyo. So yes, I would have ideally liked to win gold, but then that is how life and sport is. Some days you win, some days you lose. So when it starts to sink in, so you feel that you won silver and you start to feel happy.
Yes, and your journey has been a story in itself. People say कि खेलोगे कूदोगे होगे खराब और पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब, but you are a story like you have such contrasting personalities. You've cleared your medical exams, you're an IS officer, you've served as a DM, and you're still serving as an officer, and you are also an Olympian, you are a Paralympian, you're a medalist. And how did it really go? What was going on in your mind when you chose to maybe go for
so it's as you described, it's journey of life. Each one of us have our own journeys. I still remember the days when we were in school. At that time the achievement was to get the maximum marks possible. Then when I became a computer engineer, the dream was to get into the best company possible, you get a good job. And then when I wanted to work for the society, writing UPSC was the option, and destiny and God were kind that I could clear UPSC and got lot of opportunities in different districts and at different places to work amidst people. And then in the sporting field, yes, the first so I entered sport by accident. I did not really think in the initial days that I'll play professionally, but then in 2016 I played Asian Championship in Beijing, China, and then I did not really expect anything of myself, but then I went and as an unseeded player and won the gold medal. From there on, the journey of winning medals in Asian Para Games, Arjuna Award, then Tokyo and Paris. I think journey of life is like that. You cannot really plan what you will do after say a decade or so. I always believe in taking one thing at a time and looking at things positively. Very often we can always see the glass and say it's half empty, but it's the perspective, right? You can always say that it's half full and then I'll have to do more. So yes, journey of life has taken me to different places, and hopefully in the coming decades also I'll enjoy the ride.
Many people would wonder that how do you really balance between the two, because it's a very high pressure job, even serving as a district magistrate of in very important cities in Uttar Pradesh, like Azamgarh. You've been also working in Prayagraj and Noida, especially during the COVID times. They were very challenging times, but at the same time also preparing for a platform like Paralympics. How have you gone out? What was the day like when you prepare and also manage the duties?
My perspective is, if you really love doing something, you will enjoy the process. You probably enjoy journalism, that's why you are doing a podcast. You don't really feel that it is painful.
Presented by Royal Global University, Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
आने वाले दिनों में वो जम्मू कश्मीर को सरप्लस बजट देने वाला स्टेट बनाएंगे, ऐसा पूर्ण आयोजन नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में किया है.
Amit Shah releases BJP manifesto for Jammu and Kashmir, welfare for Kashmiri pundits and strong security for Valley among key promises. Enforcement Directorate raids Sandeep Ghosh's farmhouse, also takes his aide for questioning. 29 days on, Mamata continues to crack down on protesters as anger spills on streets of Uttar Dinajpur and to Kolkata.
ये चिट्ठी है। आनन फानन में जब प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी इन्वॉल्व है, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी को कौन हुक्म देगा? मुख्यमंत्री ही हुक्म दे सकते हैं। तो स्वाभाविक रूप से मुख्यमंत्री के हुक्म पर एविडेंसेस को मिटाने की कोशिश करते हैं।
BJP raises Republic newsbreak on the renovation letter, demands answers from Mamata. Second rocket attack in Bishnupur district of Manipur, 2 structures damaged by the rockets. Congress inducts Kathua rapist backer Chaudhry Lal Singh as star campaigner. BJP slams Congress.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah released the BJP manifesto for Jammu and Kashmir, calling it the Sankalp Patra. Some of the big takeaways of the manifesto that has been released by the BJP, particularly being that of the rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits. And not just that, BJP also taking full credit for the abrogation of Article 370, stating that it is now maximum tourism instead of maximum security forces who are under the attack.
Ahead of the landmark polls in Jammu and Kashmir, BJP released its manifesto Sankalp Patra in the Valley today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed the long-standing issues of terrorism and separatism in the region.
संपूर्ण टेरर इकोसिस्टम को ध्वस्त करने के लिए ढेर सारे काम करे गए और अभी मैं एनसी का घोषणा पत्र पढ़ता था, मुझे तो आश्चर्य हो रहा है। कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इस प्रकार का घोषणा पत्र जारी करती और कांग्रेस जैसी राष्ट्रीय दल इसका मौन समर्थन करती। क्या एजेंडा है? पत्थरबाजी की घटना करने वालों को हम छोड़ देंगे, टेररिज्म के केस में जो जेल में इन पर पुनर्विचार करेंगे।
2014 तक Shah stated that Jammu and Kashmir faced destabilization by various state and non-state actors until 2014.
अलग-अलग स्टेट और नॉन स्टेट एक्टर जम्मू कश्मीर को अस्थिर करते रहे।
Shah in his manifesto promised a terror-free Jammu and Kashmir, ensuring safety for all. The manifesto also promises empowered youth and enhanced sports and development across the region. The Home Minister has further pledged to strengthen women's rights and empowerment and ensure robust support for agriculture, farmer welfare and animal husbandry. That's not all. The manifesto also outlines a commitment to economic empowerment and poverty alleviation for a just society. It also promises healthcare, economic growth, good governance, development and rigorous environmental management. Shah hit out at the manifesto of the National Conference and what he called the mute support by its ally Congress. He even asserted that Article 370 has been scrapped for good and is never to return again.
After the drone attacks in Manipur, 2 rockets were also fired, this time in Bishnupur district. In fact, it turns out that the rocket landed close to the former Chief Minister's residence in Bishnupur district. Manipur police, in fact, has now carried out a detailed investigation indicating that 25 kilograms of explosives were dropped. Take a look at this ground report.
As an uneasy calm prevailed in Manipur amid concerns over a foreign hand in the back-to-back drone attacks that claimed 2 lives, suspected Kuki militants struck again. In the latest dare, suspected Kuki extremists launched projectiles or rockets in the Tronglaubi area of Bishnupur district near Moirang, leaving 1 person dead and damaging 2 structures.
When the ethnic violence in Manipur started way back in May 3rd, 2023, at first bullets were used, then came the pumpy bombs, then came rocket launchers of small size, then drones were used, and now heavy rockets weighing more than 25 kilograms and with a length of more than 7 to 8 feet are being fired upon from a distance of around at least 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers away is the total areas that you can see on your screen, and the rocket which has been fired upon Toronglavi today has been fired from a distance of around 6 kilometers.
However, there was no official confirmation if the projectiles were fired from the drones. The quadcopter drones used in the previous attacks came into focus as their advanced combat features raised questions and concerns if they were procured locally or from abroad.
1st September 2024, the cookies suddenly attack our village at around 2 p.m. noon with the drones, dropping bombs. They have. This is the first time they are using this type of tactics. So that is the reason that we have to our village volunteers and then security forces has to step back, because that is out of our control.
Amid suspicions of a foreign hand in the drone attacks, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, a local outfit comprising Kuki subgroups, put out a release claiming that the drones were sourced locally.
Kind of ammunition, the warlike ammunition which has been dropped near Imphal, you mentioned, is exactly the kind of ammunition that has been used by the quote-unquote rebels in North Myanmar. It matches it exactly down to the hand grenades, the nature of the rifles, the detonators, and now the drones. So there is infiltration that is coming in.
No. I've absolutely will not close the possibility of foreign hands in the conflict in Manipur, be that the dimension of drugs and flow of weapons, or yes, even armed machineries. These are all possibilities.
Earlier, Republic brought you exclusive visuals of the Meitei villages in the foothills that are going vacant after the residents left in fear of more drone attacks.
Drone attack that was carried out in this area are clearly visible on the walls and also on the roofs of the buildings. The village has now been abandoned. People have fled to the nearby villages and are seeking safe refuge in the relief camps.
With fear still stalking the Meiteis, the latest attack raises fresh security concerns for the state.
Tension runs high in Manipur once again as fresh escalation has been witnessed in Bishnupur district. In Toronglavi village of Bishnupur district under the Moirang police station, suspected Kuki militants fired upon at the village in Toronglavi with rockets. The rocket, which weigh more than 20 to 25 kilogram. Forensic team has arrived at the location and they have collected all the samples, including the 7 to 8 feet long rocket that was fired upon at the village, for investigation into as what explosives were used and how the rocket was made.
The Karnataka Women's Commission is stepping into the film industry to address violence and harassment concerns. The Commission plans to meet with sandalwood artists and has written to the Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce seeking solutions for long-standing issues. In fact, Chairperson Nagalakshmi Chaudhary has directed a meeting on 13th of September to investigate allegations of sexual harassment and abuse in the industry, emphasizing government support for affected artists and urging action against perpetrators.
big relief for Malayalam actors Edavela Babu and M. Mukesh as the Ernakulam Principal Sessions Court granted them bail in a case of sexual harassment. The case was filed by former Malayalam actress Meenu Munir. Following Meenu Munir's complaint, many others have come forward to share their experiences of issues faced on film sets.
Actor Mukesh and Edavela Babu, who had earlier secured anticipatory bail in the sexual assault case against them following the Hema Commission's report release and the accusation by various artists that the duo had abused them, will have to face the investigation procedures as well. It is learnt that the investigating team will now record the arrest, also document all the events that has unfolded, and also will conduct the medical tests, including the sexual fitness test of both Mukesh and Edavela Babu.
The Karnataka Women's Commission is stepping into the film industry to address violence and harassment concerns. Kannada actor Chetan Kumar has called for a panel similar to the Justice Hema Committee to address gender-based issues in the Kannada film industry. A delegation has met with Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, emphasizing the need for a platform where women in cinema can voice their concerns about discriminations. The meeting between the Karnataka Women's Commission and stakeholders in the Kannada film industry is set to be held on September 13th.
Well, in a veiled dig at Olympian and former wrestler Vinesh Fogart as she joined the Congress, making her plunge into politics official, is grappler Sakshi Malik said that the fight for justice and the dignity of women should not take a wrong turn. The bronze medalist from the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics vowed to lead the fight for women at her end. Sakshi's barb reinforced claims of political profiteering over the wrestlers' protest. Take a look at this report.
As ace Indian wrestler Vinesh Fogart was unveiled as a Congress leader at a packed press conference, her grappler mate and fellow Olympian Sakshi Malik took a veiled swipe at her. Speaking to reporters, Sakshi, who won bronze for the country in 2016 Rio Olympics, warned against the fight for justice and dignity of women wrestlers, taking the quote-unquote wrong turn. While saying Vinesh's political plunge was a personal call, the champion grappler said that she would continue to fight for women at her end. Revealing that she even received offers to foray into politics, the grappler said one has to make sacrifices to keep the larger struggle going. Sakshi vowed not to rest till she takes the ongoing struggle of women wrestlers to its logical end.
हमारा जो आंदोलन था, जो बहन बेटियों की लड़ाई थी, वो उसको गलत रूप ना दिया जाए। मैं अभी भी उस पर डट के खड़ी हूँ। महिलाओं के लिए जो रेसलिंग में जो शोषण होता था और जो हमारा आंदोलन है वो अभी भी मेरी तरफ से बिल्कुल जारी है। जो मैंने एक अच्छी शुरुआत की है मैं उसको पूरा लास्ट तक लेकर जाऊँ और जब तक जो है फेडरेशन हमारी क्लीन नहीं हो जाती, बहन बेटियों का शोषण बंद नहीं हो जाता, तो मेरी लड़ाई हम जो है जारी रहेगी।
The grappler's veiled swipe at Vinesh comes as the clearest hint yet that the protesting wrestlers may not be one with her decision to take up politics. As Vinesh embarks on a new journey, the big question is, will she lead the fight for women wrestlers after her grand political foray?
After the Central Bureau of Investigation, the Enforcement Directorate has now stepped in. In fact, they've carried out searches at 7 locations today connected to the former principal of RG Kaur Hospital, looking into the financial irregularities at the hospital. Take a look at this detailed report.
Escalating trouble is now weighing heavy on Sandeep Ghosh. In a fresh development, ED cracked down on Ghosh's residence in Beliaghata and at 2 locations in Howrah and Subhaskram. Not just this, ED also cracked its whip on 3 of its associates in connection with the alleged financial irregularities in the state-sponsored hospital. Prasoon Chatterjee, Biplab Singh, Kaushik Koyal, Swapan Shah. There is no end to skeletons tumbling out. Fish seem to be involved in this. Republic accessed exclusive visuals of Sandeep Ghosh's sprawling farmhouse that was raided by the ED. The luxurious farmhouse in the name of Ghosh's wife showed the kind of patronage he enjoyed under the Mamata regime. Meanwhile, TMC is keeping up with its old tactics. Watch how Mamata's corps crack down on the protesters. This comes after Abhaya's aunt came forward with scathing allegations.
কারণ আমার মেয়ে তো চলে গেছে, তাতে আপনাদের এই নীরবতা আরো অনেক হয়তো দুষ্কৃতিকে আরো মানে সমাজে জন্ম দেবে, এটা বলেই চিঠিটা লেখা আর কি। কার তরফ থেকে সেটা বলতে পারবো না। হ্যাঁ, ভিডিও ভাইরাল হয়েছে।
Getting in some more breaking news right now. This is with regards to Vistara flight UK27, which was flying towards Frankfurt, had to be diverted to Turkey, and we're being told that this was due to security reasons and has landed a short while back in Turkey. It was headed towards Frankfurt from Mumbai, flight number UK27. As of now, there is no reason that has been cited by the airline as to what is the nature of the security concern. We've also tried to reach out to the airline to get you more details, but what we can confirm is that international flight Mumbai to Frankfurt of Vistara has now landed in Turkey. This is in Erzurum airport where the landing has taken place. In fact, the flight landed around 7:05 this evening at Turkey. In fact, more details are now coming in from the airline with regards to why the diversion has actually taken place. In fact, some of the private flight tracking websites also now indicating that the flight has already landed at Erzurum airport. This was around 7 o'clock in the evening. In fact, the airline has now confirmed that this was due to an emergency landing that has taken place, and we're being told that there were certain security concerns because of which the flight had to land in Turkey. We'll try and get you more details as the reason hasn't been cited by the airline as to why the flight had to be diverted to Turkey as it was on its way to Frankfurt.
Amit Shah slams era of appeasement politics. BJP versus NC showdown on manifestos. Where does Congress stand on Article 370? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
Indian Janta is accepting and is more now exposed to the success of Paralympians? Are they more, because we've seen the glamour around cricket and other major sports, but now Olympic sports and Paralympics especially, because you are one figure, you are inspiration for so many of people, you are a popular name. So how do you think that perception is changing?
Slowly society has changed a lot. Society has given importance to real achievers in life. I think social media has played a pivotal role. Again, the maturity of society depends on who it chooses to be its heroes. Yes, probably entertainers in film industries are heroes for some. Scientists may be heroes for some others, doctors may be heroes for some others, sports persons may be heroes for some others. At the end of the day, it depends on how much premium we attach to the achievement. In the sense, if for example, if a sports person has done something, I think somewhere the person sitting at home actually attaches value to that achievement and feels that he also aspires to do, yes, he relates that he could have also done that, or he wants to do that, he wishes to do that. I think that is where the real inspiration comes from, actually going there and especially in challenging circumstances and performing. That is where the real satisfaction is.
You talk about when one is a common man, you come from a village in Karnataka, growing up, and then there were many hurdles in education. In one of the conversations with Prime Minister Modi, talking about how he was struggling to get admissions earlier on, and then when you go on, there's language barrier, but then you come in the Hindi heartland, you come and serve in UP. What was this transition like, this journey like? You can just quickly tell us.
I'll tell you, there was a time in my early childhood when I was not able to get admission to English medium schools, and I was not at all comfortable in reading or writing English language, because I started from a village in Karnataka. From then on, I am giving an interview to an English channel or in an English language. I think this is the transformation that a man goes through.
The Republic Media Network is very proud to partner with Kitply, a well-known name in the Indian plywood industry, which has just launched Kitply BioBond, a product that helps you breathe better and live better.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
Director, the taste of success.
Rahul Gandhi must stop reducing everything down to caste. Today he met some trackmen of the Indian Railways and said, most shockingly, that they are like the Mahadalits of the Indian Railways. What does he mean? He's saying that effectively they are from a different caste, effectively, than the engine drivers, who in turn, according to this warped logic, are effectively from a different caste than the ticket collectors and so on. What madness is this? If you introduce this kind of extremely divisive logic all the time, you will break the million-plus strong workforce of the Indian Railways into different groups with animosity towards each other. And in the process, you will destroy the unity of the Indian Railways, which is in itself one of the greatest unifiers and greatest institutions of this country. You know how dangerous that is. Now in July, Rahul Gandhi had taken a large film crew. He takes this 15, 20, 25 member film crew wherever he goes. Now you see, even before he comes in, see cameraman 1, cameraman 2, cameraman 3, cameraman 4, film director. Do you see a single Railways employee there? No. It's a film crew. This was supposed to be a supposed meeting with loco pilots, but you see in these pictures, there are more film crew and possible actors shooting these reels like a Bollywood film set. And during this very, very expensive multi-crore film shoot, there are more film crew than loco pilots. The point is that you and I have a clear choice now as citizens. Rahul Gandhi is practicing extreme caste division. The entire politics is extreme caste division. It is a kind of Lalu Prasad Part 2, Lalu Prasad 2.0 version of politics that Rahul is following. Lalu says he will resort to anything, including force, to implement the caste census. And Rahul Gandhi is extending that the next day by bringing caste in absolutely everything. So Lalu Prasad and Rahul Gandhi are working very closely together. And exactly the words he used with the trackmen of the railways, he was using to divide our armed forces, can you believe it, a few days back. When he said that there are two kinds of soldiers. These are the exact words of Rahul Gandhi. One, the kind of soldiers who are from minorities and Dalits and tribal families and Muslims, and others who are, in his view, the children of the rich. Now viewers, this is not just false, but this is the language that our country's enemies would want to hear. There can be no greater crime in my view, than to now start dividing our army on caste lines, dividing our military on religious lines. And Rahul Gandhi is doing exactly that. This extreme division, which is a short-term political tactic, may appeal to certain vote banks. But let me tell you, and we all need to know this, this will break our nation forever. This is exactly what the foreign agents, what the foreign conspirators want. We must be extremely careful now. Rahul Gandhi says there should be caste quotas in the Miss India competition. And that may sound funny, it may sound bizarre, the kind of 30-second foolish reel that you will laugh at. But when you want the authors of the budget which unites India divided on extreme lines, when you want the Indian judiciary, even the Supreme Court of the country that brings us all together, divided on which judge is Muslim, who is not, which judge is from which caste and who is not, which general and which soldier from the army is from which caste and who is from another, then remember, viewers, what I'm saying to you today, this is exactly the language that both the American deep state and the Chinese intelligence machinery would want to hear. That's how dangerous this is. Mamata Banerjee, your ministry is now one of the key suspects for the people of this country in the RG Kaur rape and murder cover. In this fishy, suspicious letter, Sandeep Ghosh, the kingpin of the scam, who is the RG Kaur principal, strangely asks for the immediate demolition of the duty doctors' rooms along with the attached toilets, which, as you all very well know, is the murder site. The last paragraph of this alleged letter, where the corrupt scam kingpin, he makes it clear here that he's ordering the demolition effectively under the direct instructions of Mamata Banerjee's ministry. This proves that the hidden hand behind the demolition and the destruction was none other than Mamata Banerjee's own ministry. Mamata Banerjee resign as health minister, resign as home minister, and resign as chief minister. The truth must be brought out in public now. The nation won't wait anymore. The nation wants to know.
Amit Shah slams era of appeasement politics. BJP versus NC showdown on manifestos. Where does Congress stand on Article 370? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
You know what? I should probably start reading Gita thoroughly. And I have this meditation guru who actually tells me 2 or 3 verses every day, so that it helps me in my general life as well.
Mamata Banerjee, your ministry is now one of the key suspects for the people of this country in the RG Kaur rape and murder cover. In this fishy, suspicious letter, Sandeep Ghosh, the kingpin of the scam, who is the RG Kaur principal, strangely asked...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I can accept